This is Milwaukee's newest rear handle circular saw. Boasting claims of 6,000 RPMs, 53-degree bevel capacity, cut line blower, LED light, and 18.1 inches long, 7.9 inches wide, and 7.9 inches tall. Bare tool weight of 8.3 pounds. Now, a lot of people in my comments say, Caleb, what is a rear handle saw, Caleb? Those are called worm drive saws. I'm not calling it a rear handle drive saw. They are calling it a rear handle circular saw. And the majority of rear handle saws are not worm drive saws. They are worm drive style, but there's only, I believe, 1 or 2 cordless rear handle saws that are worm drive, that being the skill saw and maybe one other. These are not worm drive. They don't have worm driven gears. These are similar, but they are posi drive style gears, not worm drive. Now that I had that little spiel there, start talking about the saw. They did something kind of cool, if you ask me. Instead of having the trigger lock on the side, they have it on the top here. Now, is this safer or is this less safe? Maybe you forget to lock it back and the trigger can just be activated instead of having the thumb and the finger. Now you just have the trigger lock on the top of the handle. Do you like that? Do you not like that? I kind of like it, but I also think it might be a little less safe. And just like with the previous model, I believe, and the Hercules rear handle, they have a multi-size rafter hook. It is very visible to see the bevel markings going off the top of that little metal piece here. And you do have the slot for a rip guide and a thumb screw to hold it down. It does have a nice, I believe this is a magnesium shoe. Does it say? Also coming with the new Milwaukee thick kerf blades. And your depth is also very visible. We have a nice black marking inside of all of those engravings. Nice and easy. Really feels like a nice robust unit. Now let's pop our 12 amp hour Forge battery in here and get to testing. Now let's get a couple quick cuts here. Feels good. It feels like it has a lot of power. I never used the last gen of the Milwaukee rear handle, so I don't know if it's better than the old one, but from what I've seen, it has more power. Take it nice and easy, go smooth, smooth as butter. Now, can we push this thing though? Maybe you're in a rush, maybe you're really in a rush. Ooh. Finger is still on the trigger, and we do have safety features here. It's not just gonna bind up and throw it back at you if you get bound up, but we can bind this saw up relatively easy. But if you don't cut like an idiot, you know, like I did in my viral video not too long ago, you should be just fine. Okay, so let's go full depth. Now you do have positive stops at 22.5 and 45 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and take a 22.5 degree bevel. One thing I'm already noticing that a few people have mentioned in their reviews is the dust collection. There is a ton of dust on our workpiece right here. You can slightly angle where your dust shroud is going, but not much. It's not like the Flex or anything like that. Let's go to 45 degrees. "45 degrees, no problem." How about the max? Let's go to 53 degrees. Full depth, full bevel, cut through a standard, you know, pretty soft 2x4, no problem. It's already collecting a ton of dust. All right, now, what if we are ripping boards? This is a brand new 8-foot 2x4. We set our depth already. We're gonna see if we can rip down this thing. Probably should have just set our depth a tiny bit more. And without any hose, with a vacuum on the other end, you can tell this thing is just collecting all that sawdust. We've made, what, 10 or 15 cuts, and it's pretty filthy with sawdust already. I like the feel of it. I think it has decent power. I don't think it has the power that the Flex does personally. I think that maybe even their newer Sidewinder felt more powerful when I reviewed that. The dust collection, not so great. It does have a nice LED light here. The thick kerf blade might be holding us back. These are supposed to be the newest, best blades on the market though, right? At 45 degrees, this would be your view when you're making a bevel cut, right? It has a pretty nice window here and has the indentations or the points on the shoe where you can see when you're making a 90 degree or a 45 or all the way up to a 53 degree bevel. All of those are marked with these notches here. And I do have the battery out, by the way. Do not stick your fingers down here by the blade with the battery inside of this thing. This is for, you're looking at your 90 degree cut here, 22.5, and 45 degree cut. And I believe on the other side here is for your 53. It does have a nice viewing window though. Overall, it seems like a nice saw. I wish the dust collection, or at least the ability to get rid of the sawdust, was a bit better. $279 I paid for this thing, bare tool, so without a battery. And then the 12 amp hour forge, if you want to match the performance we saw today, is going to cost you another 250 bucks. I believe there is a kit for like 450 bucks. You get the battery and the saw together. I didn't get that. I don't think it's available near me, but $279. What do you guys think on that? Overall, not bad, but I don't think I'm going to be keeping this. As we know, trying to get rid of tools, and I already have the Flex rear handle, and I don't even need that one. I'd say I like the Flex rear handle a bit more than this one, personally. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.